morning, Phil here. I hope you had a nice weekend. And yeah, this video today is about a number of bits and pieces. Firstly, I thought I'd kick off by just explaining the answer to the quiz that I set you all to identify what this photo I'm about to show you is. Okay, so the photo, the image is from a sound recording and it relates to a topic very dear to my heart. If you've been watching my videos, you'll know I'm a big fan of Apollo, and it's actually, after several guesses, some good guesses, but I did have a correct answer from a friend called John Ryder from the Model Sailing Club, and he guessed correctly that it's actually the sound recording of Neil Armstrong standing on the ladder of the lunar module when he says, "Okay, I'm going to step off the LEM now. That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind." Now, actually, there was quite a bit of controversy as to whether he actually said the word "a," as in a man, or just man. But this recording, I think, sort of clears up that misunderstanding, and I think he did actually, certainly intended to say, and I think he probably did say "a man." So, one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. So there you go. So the bottle of wine is on its way to John, and well done everyone who had a guess. Thank you. So another topic I wanted to cover today is a donation to charity, and the video is entitled 1,000 Hits and £1,000. So I've thought about this the last few days, and what I've decided is that I'd like to make a donation to charity, and I want your help to do it. So last week my brother Chris had a fantastic gesture in that he sold one of his old classic cars on an auction site, and the car sold for a good sum of money, and he decided to make a good donation to charity as a result of that sale, and that's prompted me to try and do something similar. So what I thought I would do is see if I can help you to help me get a lot of people watching these videos, and if we can, then let's try and raise some money. So what I'm suggesting is that at the moment this YouTube channel of mine called Phil's Fun for Fogies has had approaching 700 hits since I started it about a month ago, and I'd love to see it get to 1,000 hits. And what I've decided is the day it gets to 1,000 hits, I will make a donation of £1,000 to a health charity chosen by you guys. So I'm hoping that you're going to tell everyone out there about the channel, and you're going to be going on the channel lots of times, and you're going to be hitting that like button, and a lot of you are going to join up and subscribe, and if we do that, then I'm sure we'll get to 1,000 pretty quickly, and I can send off a donation to charity. So what we'll do is anyone who's got ideas of which are the best health charities, then we'll just do it on a democratic vote, and whichever charity gets the most votes is the one that I'll make the donation to. So yeah, please, you know, let's see if we can get to 1,000 hits. Thanks very much. So just remember that on my YouTube channel there are currently 15 videos, and if you click on the yellow Phil's Fun for Fogies logo, that'll show you the list of videos. So if there's any you haven't seen, go and have a look. Yeah, there's some videos that I'm sort of planning to do at the moment, and sort of in the production line. I'm looking at doing a series on Florida, off the beaten track, and that will be called Florida without the Mickey Mouse. I also might do one on Lake Como and Riva speedboats. So I've got a few ideas going around my head. So I thought I'd just end with a joke today, and if you've read my book Dino Days, you will know this joke. But if you don't, it's because you haven't bought Dino Days and you need to go out there and buy it. Just see one of the previous videos and it'll tell you all about it. But anyway, there's a guy called Fred who has a Mini, and he drives down to the pub, parks in the car park, and there in the car park is a beautiful Rolls Royce. So he goes into the pub, up to the bar, and there is Hooray Henry telling anyone who'll listen how wonderful his Rolls Royce is. So Fred listens to a bit of this, and Hooray Henry tells him, "Oh yes, my Rolls Royce has the most wonderful heating and climate system, better than anything you could possibly have." And Fred says, "Yeah, well, you know, my Mini is the special model with, it's the deluxe with a heater in it, optional cabin heater. So, you know, I can keep my Mini just as toasty as your Rolls Royce." And Hooray Henry thinks about this and he says, "Yes, well, what you've got to remember is my car, it floats along the road. The ride is second to none." And Fred says, "Yeah, well, I've got the Mini, and the Mini, of course, has got hydroelastic suspension, which is really floating on air. So the ride is just as good in my Mini." And this really annoys Hooray Henry. So Fred decides to up the stakes. So he says to Hooray Henry, he says, "Now, I tell you what, I've got something in my Mini that you haven't got in your roller." And Hooray Henry says, "What could you possibly have in your car that my magnificent Rolls Royce doesn't have?" So Fred says, "Well, what I did was I cut a hole in the back seat, and now if I lower the boot lid down, I've got a mattress I can roll out that goes through the back seat over the boot lid, and I can make a little double bed. So if I'm, you know, had a few too many beers at the pub, or if I find someone, a young lady I can get friendly with and is going to come back with me to my car, then, you know, we can have a nice time." And this really infuriates Hooray Henry. So off they go, and a week later, Hooray Henry comes back to the pub, to the car park, and in the week he's had a double bed conversion fitted to his Rolls Royce, so he can show Fred that he's got just as good a car. So Hooray Henry goes up to the Mini and he notices that the Mini's all steamed up, and obviously old Fred is having a whale of a time in there. So Hooray Henry knocks on the glass and he waits a bit more, and eventually Fred slowly slides back the window and says, "Yes, can I help you?" And Hooray Henry says, "Well, now listen here, my good man. My Rolls Royce now has a double bed, so it's just as good as your car." To which Fred replies, "I don't know. You got me out of the bath just to tell me that.